Hello there. So, let's see how quick I can make this one. A few more things I wanted to point out really quickly about Mike Pritchard and his wife Rebecca. Is first of all, one thing I thought was interesting, it was kind of funny, was just when you search them on Facebook, the first option that pops up is a guy named Mike Pritchard who's from Carteret County in North Carolina, actually. And even actually kind of looks like the Mike that I worked with a little bit. A good bit. They even have kind of the same hands almost. And they look like they're probably about the same height. Even somewhat very similar face. But this is not the guy that I worked with. Even though he's from Carteret County in North Carolina, which Cedar Island is in Carteret County in North Carolina. The Mike Pritchard that I worked with is this one. He lives in Chatsworth, Georgia currently, I guess, and he's from northern Florida. Right here. So his wife, Rebecca, worked in the main office, and he was the maintenance guy at the ranch. So one thing I really wanted to point out here is December 24th, 2022. This was this past Christmas. You can see there the photo that he sent me in the text that I made a video about recently. So right here, he shows you what they had the previous year for Christmas, 2021. They had chili. Now I want you to make note right here, first of all, they could have had any meal for their Christmas dinner this past year. They didn't have to have lamb. They had chili the year before. Make note of the way that the fire is laid out, the wood, the fire pit. It looks very haphazard, doesn't it? Just a bunch of logs stacked with kindling, huh? Do you see any symbols poking, do you see it really making any symbols? No, I just see logs. I just see wood, stacks of wood and kindling. So there's that. Now, again, here's the picture he sent me. He texted me. Look at how that's not haphazard. That's laid out. That's designed. A few more things that I wanted to point out about this photo, actually. I am kind of looking at some of the tracks and stuff, trying to see what I can make out from that. But make note of these wavy metal rods. They look like they're probably the springs from a mattress. So it looks like they burned a mattress here at some point, likely in a previous fire. So you can kind of see there how it looks as if the fire was bigger once. The campfire was bigger, and there was probably that entire mattress burning there. They didn't bother to clear out those metal springs. They just kind of left them there. Off to the side. I don't know. I've never heard of anyone putting mattress springs in their fire for a purpose. And I don't know why they wouldn't have just cleaned them out. They could be, if they wanted to add more symbolism, I guess, they could stand for snakes. They could symbolize serpents or snakes. I am trying to also figure out things like, I'm trying to gauge the size of the meat based on the size of other stuff in the photograph frame. It looks like the bone is slightly smaller than these rods are. So if anybody's very good with meats and can call a meat just by looking at it, does that look like lamb to you? Let me know. So, a few more things I wanted to point out really quickly. Here's another bit of evidence to suggest that the fire was designed. So here, this is the same fire pit as the one in the previous picture. That fire pit is this fire pit. You can tell because pay attention to a knob sticking out of the top of that log there with that little tiny light colored piece of a branch that's, broken off. It's pointing up towards the meat. So there's sort of a gnarled knob at the top of that log with a little tiny light colored piece of branch that got snapped off, pointing out off up and towards the left, towards the meat. So, and just kind of look at the log overall, look at the bark there on the side, and then look at this log. There's the gnarled knob at the top. There's the little piece of light branch that got snapped off that's pointing over up towards the meat. It's just from a different angle. You can see, you can still see some of the, what do you call it? Some of the same kind of bark there. It's just that this log, the log's been burnt down significantly here. And then the other log that was here, it has either also been burnt down or was moved aside to be sat upon or something. So this photograph was taken maybe only within hours after this photograph was taken. Possibly like the next day. I would say within hours. It might very likely be the same slab of meat. It's just beginning to cook here. And then in the previous photo, it's just about done being cooked, perhaps. So this is the same exact fire pit. Oh, and you can also see the same wavy metal rods, the mattress bed springs. Why did you have to burn the mattress, guys? Why didn't you just, throw it away like most people throw mattresses away? Did something happen on the mattress? Did it got burned? I'm just wondering. Something happened to it. So another thing I wanted to point out is... Sorry, I'm not making you dizzy going back and forth between photos, but this matches... So the overall layout of this matches a sacred geometrical shape. And it describes what's called the squaring of the circle, which is, as far as I've read, impossible to do.